This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden wants his supersized Affordable Care Act subsidies, raised for 2 years as part of the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill, to become permanent. Tom Howe reports Biden wasted no time in telling Congress to make the benefit permanent, a move that would cost an estimated $200 billion over 10 years and stave off a potentially painful situation when the benefits expire after 2022. The benefit made people earning over 400% above the poverty line eligible for subsidies for the first time, and also removed the income cap and offered financial help if benchmark premiums exceeded 8.5% of their income. The White House Budget Office hailed the move as a way to lower healthcare costs and expand access during the pandemic, though Obamacare critics and supporters alike said the president was unlikely to give up the sweetener once the pandemic subsided. Republicans said the idea papers over economic flaws in the law. Speaking of the pandemic, the United States shut down much of the economy, and still more than 500,000 Americans died from COVID-19, sparking a consensus that prolonged lockdowns can't be the treatment of choice for future pandemics. Tom Howe also has this story for us and talks with officials and experts to weigh the impacts of the prolonged closures. Economic shutdowns reduced the number of cases, but proved to be a blunt instrument, with massive job losses, permanent business closures, and excess deaths from a host of causes as people put off regular health screenings or treatments. Restaurants and music and art venues are teetering, and drug overdose deaths are worse than they've ever been. The situation forced the nation to reckon with a clunky approach that exposed years of failure to invest in tools that could limit desperate measures during a pandemic. President Biden's commission exploring a Supreme Court makeover has given Democratic activists and lawmakers a rare opportunity, a chance to curtail the lifetime appointments of justices. Legal affairs reporter Alex Sawyer reports advocates for term limits say the length of tenure on the court has nearly doubled in the past 50 years, from an average of 16 in 1970 to 28 years today. That's according to advocacy group Fix the Court. One of the proposals calls for a constitutional amendment that would end life tenure after 18 years. The justices could remain part of the federal judiciary for life, but would serve on lower courts with the permission of the Chief Justice. Another proposal would have the president nominate a justice to the Supreme Court in every odd-numbered year. The nominee, if approved, would begin serving only after a retirement. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George and get 25% off your annual subscription. Homicides in the District of Columbia are up more than 40% over the same period last year, and after another weekend of multiple shootings, city officials have outlined plans to address the surge of violence. Metro reporter Emily Zanto reports the district has seen 66 killings so far in 2021, compared to 47 from the same time in 2020. Metropolitan Police Chief Robert Conti said that officers are implementing target prevention and enforcement strategies in several neighborhoods that have traditionally been hit the hardest. Those neighborhoods include Potomac Gardens, Langston Carver, Fort DuPont, and Benning Ridge. According to police data, the department's focus areas last year reported a 10% decrease in violent crimes and a 25% decrease in crimes overall. State legislatures across the country are on pace this year to approve an unprecedented number of bills placing limits on abortion. Valerie Richardson reports the pro-choice Guttmacher Institute said in a report that 61 bills restricting abortion access or services have passed in 13 states. In many cases, the new measures are almost direct invitations to the Supreme Court to take up the constitutionality of the laws and reopen the debate on its 1973 Roe v. Wade decision legalizing the practice. The report said since January, 536 bills restricting abortion have been introduced in 46 states, including 146 bills that ban abortions after a certain point in pregnancy. And finally, Chinese President Xi Jinping continues to consolidate power and has reached a new status according to U.S. intelligence officials. Bill Gertz reports Army Lieutenant General and Defense Intelligence Agency Director Scott Berrier said Xi's increased power will fuel the Chinese military's drive to create forces more powerful than the U.S. in the coming years. Berrier said a Chinese Communist Party Central Committee meeting in October marked a significant shift in Xi's power, now as a helmsman of both the country and as General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and subscribe for free to the front page. Just search Washington Times on your favorite podcast platforms. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.